Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. KHAI here from Telco. In this video today, we are going to review one of Samsung's latest flagship phone, the S21 Ultra 5G. And here is the review. Before we move on to the rest of the specs and how the phone performs, let's just talk a little bit about the price. This phone is almost 1.8k Singapore dollars. 1.8k is a very big price tag. No one can deny that. So I'm just going on that premise and see whether or not whatever that I'm going to talk about, the phone, the specs, the build, the camera, everything all in one, to see whether it does sum up to that 1.8k price tag. I just thought we'll go with that. But if you were to ask me at this point of time, is it justifiable to pay 1.8k to get a phone, a flagship phone? Will it make sense? I will definitely say no, because 1.8k, like what I said, it's a hefty price. I cannot really justify paying that much for a phone. Well, going on that, let's talk a little bit more about the phone and we'll see what the rest of the phone is all about. Alright, number one, let's talk a little bit about the build. Now, this is probably the first in my memory for Samsung to manufacture something which has a very nice, simple, matte, non-glossy, non-fingerprint magnet, very classy looking. It looks so elegant. And the design, it looks really premium. Yeah, if you were to hang phones on the wall, this will definitely stand out. It just screams Met Gala, red carpet, Oscar, you know, all this prestige. And that's what I'm getting. That kind of vibe, that's what I'm getting when I look at this phone. But on the other hand, I was using this phone for about 2 weeks, and every time when the alarm goes off and I was in my bed and I'm supposed to reach for the phone to disarm my alarm, I will take an extra effort to really reach and grab it so as not to slip from my hands, because the back, although it's nice, although it's matte, it is a little bit slippery when I'm holding on to it. It could just be my hands, I don't know, it probably is anyways, but yes, I'm always having trouble finding myself gripping this phone because 8 out of 10, the phone is usually trying to slip out from my hands. I don't have clammy hands, so that's probably why, because if your hands are a little bit damp, if it's, those sweaty palm conditions, it might have a little bit more traction with the surface of the phone. And because my hands are usually dry, I do have that paranoia that the phone is just slipping away, and when it touches the ground, that's it. I'll be probably looking for a new phone. And the other thing is that on the camera module, it's not flush to the back of the phone. So there's a little bit of raise, and if you were to put the phone down on the surface and if you were to press on the screen, it does rock a little bit. Something which symmetry buffs like myself, or if you are one of us, yeah, you'll probably have an issue with that. But aside from that, it is a really pretty phone. On the screen, it is 6.8 inches wide. It has this new dynamic AMOLED display 2X. It looks very vibrant and it has very nice color contrast. This is probably the first Samsung flagship phone that I would give 10 out of 10 for its display. It's really beautiful. It's just awesome. The phone can also run at 1440p at 120Hz refresh rate, and that is just right for gaming. Yes, the other thing that makes it really crisp, the images, whatever videos that you're looking, whatever website that you are surfing, it does look very nice because of its pixel density. It is 551 pixel per inch. On the front, Samsung maintains the camera cutout, which is at the center part of the top part of the screen, which I really like, because if you are taking selfie, you are making sure that everything is symmetrical. I just love the placement of the camera there. The other thing that got maintained is the in-screen fingerprint sensor. So there's some improvements, and I can tell that there is an improvement on the in-screen fingerprint reader. Yeah, it does feel that it is reading your fingerprint a tad much faster, which is great. Right, the processing speed is super fast. It is now equipped with Snapdragon 888, and that's just crazy fast. Just take note there are 3 variants. There is the 256GB storage with 12 gigs of RAM, a 256GB storage with 12 gigs of RAM, or the last one, which is 512 gig of storage with 16 gig of RAM. And you also have to take note that there isn't any expandable storage that you can fit into the phone. Yep, they've taken out that slot, which otherwise you can place your micro SD card. It's no longer there. The UI interface, yes, it does look a whole lot cleaner now. It is approaching more to that stock Android zone. It is crossing that line, or it's rather inching towards that approach. But if you were to compare the Note 10 Plus, the S20, the S20 Note Ultra, and now the S21 Ultra, the UI has always been going towards stock Android, and I got no complaints on that. I think a lot of people have no complaints on that. Battery, Samsung did indeed nail this one, because the battery is probably my best favorite feature of the entire phone. It runs very well. I now charge once in every 2 days. So with full charge, you can actually go out, spend time with your phone, snap pictures there, watch YouTube here, stalk people on Instagram, stalk people on TikTok, and you'll come back and you'll still have at least 40 to 50% battery left. So the optimization of the battery and the software is really marvelous. Samsung, you have got to maintain this. This has to be in all of your future phones that you will be manufacturing. Do not skip on this. I don't know how else I can stress on this, but it is very, very important, because I feel that in their previous iterations on all the previous Samsung phones, they don't do a rather marvelous job in battery life management. Battery life management or battery optimization. Okay, more on the cameras. Right now, there are 3 cameras on the camera module. Number 1 will be the main camera, which is at 108 megapixel. You also have the ultra wide angle, 12 megapixel, as well as the zoom camera at 10 megapixels. Also, they've added 8K video recording, which was also present in the S20 Note Ultra. But I just want to also say that this is something at a pro consumer level. Peasants and plebs like us, we don't own an 8K monitor or an 8K TV, at least not yet. So it is a feature that I don't think anyone is requesting urgently for. So it is okay if it's not there. It's just that now you can take 8K footages, but the only place that you can really review your footages is not on the phone, not on your monitors, not on your TVs. You have to buy an 8K monitor or TV for that. Now, the big challenge on smartphone cameras is nailing down human skin tones. That has been challenged throughout the history of smartphones. And very rarely does a smartphone with their camera really take a good human skin tones and not being overly bright or not being overly saturated or artificial looking. And Samsung has done quite a good job this time around to nail that. So yes, if you were to take photos of human subjects using the main camera, which is the 108 megapixel camera, now our skin tones look very natural. Gone are the days of looking plasticky or fake. So good job Samsung on that front. Also, more on the main camera, I love that the images look tech sharp. Very nice contrast. Again, natural looking, no over saturation. The wide angle does seem okay, but it is not as good as the main camera. Images tend to look not as sharp as we all like it to be. The space zoom is back again, and I feel that it is still very gimmicky. The images that I took using the zoom lenses from 1x all the way to 100x, the ones that I think are usable for maybe social media posts or not being judged by someone very nastily, is using anything below the 10x. Anything above the 10x, 30x still acceptable, but anything beyond is just not a good image quality. So if you are taking pictures using the space zoom, you can just forget about anything that's beyond 30x. Selfie portraits are a lot to be desired for. They are not that good. This is especially so if you have background blur going on, all your bokeh effects that you want. Yes, of course, you can edit that bit and you can just turn down or turn up the blur level to any level that you want to. If the processed image is looking like this, something that cuts out part of your head or part of your headphones. You can always bring it back by just lowering down the blur slider. But then again, that's the thing. If you want to take pictures using this for a portrait, you would want that bokeh effect. This time around, I don't think that the portrait mode is that good. It is okay, it is decent, but it is not something that you would use this for portrait shots. So on the whole, I would just forgo the other cameras on the camera module and I'll just use the main one, the 108 megapixel, to take all of my shots. And I think you cannot go wrong with that one. And my thoughts on the overall performance of the phone. And yes, this is as solid as a flagship that you can expect. But again, in my own opinion, the price is just a bit too high for my liking. It's not a phone where I'll just splash out 1.8K straight up. If I want to get this phone, I'll be a bit more smart. I'll just get this with a contract. Yes, it is feature packed, but some of these features on the phone is something which no one asked for. For example, the 8K video recording, no one is really asking for that. For example, the space zoom photo mode, it's not something which everyone was asking for it. Yes, these features, they are new, but in the practical sense, it's still pretty much questionable. So if you're really buying this phone, the S21, what are you really purchasing it for? Well, you are buying for its battery, marvelous battery. You are buying for the software, which is future-proof. You are buying it for the UI. It looks good, simple, elegant, and very much closer to the stock Android feels. You are buying for the processing speed. This is a super crazy fast phone. And lastly, again, you are buying for the aesthetic, the look, the premium, nice looking, sexy look. And those things that I mentioned, those are the things that makes this phone very, very enticing. Do I recommend it? Yes. If you are into flagship phones, this should be in your radar. This is a near perfect flagship phone. Alright guys, I hope this video has been informative, it has been insightful. If you enjoyed this video, do hit the like button. And if you are new to the channel, consider subscribing and hitting the bell notification button to be notified on a future video that we might post. I guess that's it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!